Welcome to our subscription video for June. So this is the coffees we will be sending out in the beginning of June, for those who are wondering. And today I have with me a very good friend and also one of our best long-term guests in our coffee shop, Anders Walde.
Yeah.
Anders Walde is a photographer, but also the first ever World Aeropress Champion. So this is how he looks like. So Anders, how does it feel to be a World Aeropress Champion?
It feels okay, but we have to remember it was only 3 people competing, but it's more important being first.
Yes, details, you know, it doesn't matter. You're still a world champion.
Yes, I don't use that title very often.
No. Do you use the Aeropress very often though?
No.
So how do you brew coffee at home?
I mostly use V60.
V60, yeah. So Harrier filter.
Yeah.
And what are your favorite coffees?
I really love Kenyan coffee, for example. Yeah, African, Kenyan, Ethiopian coffees, and if there's great balanced, Central American coffees, I think that's fantastic as well. Yeah.
And you went to Kenya with us in 2000 and something, 11 maybe?
10, I think.
10? Yeah. So you've been to farms and we had a good time.
Yeah, very good.
Playing snooker at the Outspan Hotel.
Yeah.
All right, so let's cut to the point. We are going to taste the coffees that we're going to send out. We're actually going to taste 2 coffees today. The first one being from Finca Tamana. You haven't been there, but I've been there a lot. But you know about the project?
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know, Finca Tamana is the farm of Elias Roa in Colombia. And it's the farm that I stay at when I'm working on my own farm, Finca El Suelo, because I bought 7 hectares from Elias, so it's side by side. He's my neighbor. And I also buy coffee from Elias, and I've been working with him since 2012. Slowly getting the coffee better, and you're probably one of the few that has been following from the very start, because you come to the store every day.
Yeah, I think I've tasted everything you've actually produced.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
So this particular coffee is a mix between Variedad Colombia, which is the Colombian variety that is kind of the pre-Castillo variety. So it's a hybrid and it's resistant. And there's also a little bit of the Caturra variety in, but not much, because last year, this was harvested in June last year. Or June, July. Last year the Caturra had a lot of leaf rust, and you can see that in one of the videos that I made about varieties from Finca Tamana, that the trees have no leaves, hence the trees are not able to produce sugar, no photosynthesis, so the coffee is not so sweet. But he had a few lots of Caturra that still were looking okay, so we tasted those and we mixed them into the Variedad Colombia lot. So let's taste it.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Very sweet.
Yeah. So we sent out Castillo variety 2 months ago. Or was it last month? I think it was the May subscription. And Castillo is kind of the advanced variety of Variedad Colombia, but it tends to have a little bit more herbal flavor, whereas this, for me at least, is a little bit softer, a little bit fruitier. And to me it's actually one of the best traditional varieties that Elias has on the farm. A little bit of fruit flavor, not too much.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, like maybe some cherries, like red cherries or some sort, or But it's very like sweet and balanced.
Yeah.
Like very comforting mouthfeel.
Yeah. That's kind of why I buy this coffee. And the reason why it's so sweet is because the process and everything. He picks the ripe cherries. We sort out anything that's unripe. The fermentation doesn't go for too long. We soak the coffee, we dry it in shade, we pack it in Grain Pro. So the quality is really maintained from the minute it's picked until it's packed and shipped. And then the shelf life of it, I mean, this is a year old, but it still tastes very fresh. So I think For me, coffees don't necessarily have to be fruity or floral every time I drink it. It can also be just sweet and nice.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is the coffee that everyone will get. So everyone, even the ones who have 1 bag per month, but we are sending out a very special one for the guys who are subscribing to 2 bags or more. And it's from the same farm. And it's a coffee that we planted together with Elias in 2015, I think, or 2014 we planted the seeds, but the trees were planted in his field in 2015. And it's the SL28 variety, and that's partly why you're here, because you've been to Kenya, you know it's a traditional variety in Kenya, but not very commonly grown in Colombia. Have you tried this before?
No,
no?
Never.
So let's taste it. A lot more fruit.
Yes, but a little bit more slender, or how can I say it? Little, not so fat mouthfeel.
Yeah, it's quite different from a Kenyan SL28. It's not as acidic.
It doesn't have the Kenyans have this like punch, acidic punch at the top.
Yeah,
this is not. This is a little bit more rounded.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
So the Kenyan SL28s are always very intense, very kind of blackcurrant-like, whereas I find this to be kind of a mix between the first coffee we had and the Kenyan maybe. So a little bit more, subtle in the fruit, but it's there. So when you compare it to the other one, you can definitely taste that it's more fruity.
Is there a lot of people growing SL28 in Central America?
Well, in El Salvador there are traditionally farms who grow SL28. They normally call it Kenya. So you can get seeds around. And also in Colombia I know there's a few farms who already have it. And I'm sure there are others as well. But it's not a very common thing to grow now, because it's mainly an African variety that was kind of grown in Tanzania and Kenya.
Yeah.
And people haven't really been traveling and taking seeds back and forth for many years. So
is this also dried using the African method on the dry beds?
Yes. So this is actually, normally Elias will dry it on a bamboo patio that is covered, but these are actually dried on raised beds. So the process is very similar to what you would find in Kenya. But the growing conditions, of course, even though the altitude is more or less the same, the climate is very different. So the growing altitude for this SL28 is 1650 meters approximately, which is very close to what you can find in the area and kind of in the best areas in Kenya. But what really makes a difference, and you can feel that when you're there, that it's really cold at night in Kenya, whereas in Colombia, or at least on this farm, it can be cold, but it's not normal. It's normally like 16 degrees at night, whereas in Kenya it can be down, below 10 even. So I think that's why the coffees are less intense here. Also the trees are very young. So normally the Kenyan coffees you drink are the trees come from the 1930s.
Yeah. So these are 4 years old.
Yeah. So we're expecting, after we stomp these trees and it'll grow up again and produce more, then hopefully the quality will be better as well. Because the trees are producing a lot now, but not that much. So to summarize the 2 coffees we're sending out, so everyone will get Variedad Colombia and Caturra. The reason why we're only sending the SL28 out to the ones who are subscribing for 2 bags or more is because we don't have a lot of this coffee, and it's quite exclusive. We are paying a lot more for it as well. So I tried to figure out what to do with it. We have 2 bags of it, and I thought, why don't we send it out to our loyal subscribers? And of course we'll have some in the store for you.
Right.
Maybe as espresso. You love to drink espresso. Yeah, so this SL28 will also roast as espresso and send out, so you'll be able to taste that in the shop.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Anything else? That's it. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
And have a nice coffee.
It's making me look good. Jeg føler at det er satt sånn.
Han pleier å redigere på sånne lenker og sånn.
Ja, jeg vil ha chains, jeg vil ha sånn, og rings og grills.
Det selvfølgelig.